everyone, welcome to Hey Women Here. I hope that you all are doing well. I am Nida and we are back with our fourth episode on Hey Women Here. I know it's being late, but we are back with one of our most inspiring lady, Akriti Mattu. Akriti is a founder and CEO of Blogging Elementary. It's an e-space for learning and earning. She is also a founder of Budget Wayfarers, which is a travel website, and it's being listed in world's top 100 travel websites. She happens to be on advisory boards of various high-performing startups across the world, and she have mentored thousands of people across the world for creating their content. So let's hear about her story and her experience. Let's get started. So, hello, Akriti. Welcome to Hey Women Here. How are you doing?
Hi Nida, I'm glad to be here. It was a very productive day for me today, and now after the productive day, I'm here with you, and I hope I add some value to your viewers. And I'm glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
Definitely, and I'm glad that you are here. So, Akriti, I've
Thanks.
already given a brief introduction about you before you came, but I would love if you'll speak some lines about yourself and introduce yourself.
Sure. So I am the founder and CEO of Blogging Elementary, okay, which popularly now people call it as B, only B, okay, it is B. That's our logo as well. So it stands for, being whatever you want to be and just, being limitless. And Blogging Elementary is actually a platform for content creators where they can come and they can ask questions, they can discuss a lot of aspects pertaining to internet marketing. That's one aspect of the platform, and the other aspect is to deal with a lot of e-courses, mentorship programs, and we keep doing a lot of things, events. But ultimately, our intent is to make quality information pertaining to the internet and different forms of content to more and more people. So
Yeah,
that's
that
what
is
I'm doing. And also, in addition to Blogging Elementary, I also had started a startup in 2018 that has nothing to do with internet marketing. That was to do with travel content actually, and that has been listed among the world's top 100 budget travel websites for the year 2020. And in addition to that as well, I do a lot of consultancy for brands, for a lot of organizations. I train teams, so lots of things going on here. Yeah.
that is great and awesome. And I'm also a part of Blogging Elementary, and I found it very
Yes.
useful
Yes.
being in a
And
community of so many passionate content creators.
yeah, and I'm so happy to have you there, Nida, because I think till now I've seen one or two pieces of content from your end. I think one was a piece of poetry, it was beautiful, and since you're a part of the platform, I mean, you must have realized it's just becoming this very positive space where people are connecting and people who've never met each other before, but they're forming an association, they're becoming a part of the tribe, and I'm very happy to have all of you there. Thank you so much.
And I got to learn a lot of things because there are many wonderful content creators, and they create a lot of great poetries and all the stories, and I love to
Yeah.
read them. They are wonderful.
Me too. Me too. It's become my go-to place. I don't go to any other platforms now. I just stay there only all the time. Yeah.
So as you mentioned that you're an entrepreneur, so what was the driving force behind becoming an entrepreneur?
Okay. So one of the biggest, driving forces that has led to me becoming an entrepreneur is there was an increasing need inside of me to create something, to build something which I could call as my own, which was something beyond the ordinary, and uh, being in a regular 9 to 6 job wasn't something that I could not really continue with that. And I thought that I should start something which I can call my own, and that something should actually create value for millions and millions of people. And I started a long time ago, and finally that journey has culminated on Blogging Elementary now. And now when I see that more and more people are associating with us, reaching out to us, and are getting quality information on so many aspects that are the need of the hour, I feel happy that whatever I thought I am able to achieve it, we still have miles to go, but we are somewhere there for sure.
Definitely. So,
Yeah.
would you like to share your experience as a young entrepreneur, as you have started entrepreneurship
Oh.
in a young age? So,
Yeah, so it's been a long journey, Anida, and but I'm not gonna call the journey as a tiring one. I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna. I will think of it as an adventure, actually, because I'll tell you. when you start, you don't even know what lies ahead. You might do all the planning in the world, you might read all the books in the world, you might get guidance from the right people, but ultimately when you stand alone, okay, because you have to stand alone at the end of the
Yeah.
day, and when you have to face obstacles on a day-to-day basis, so you have to keep on going ahead. Actually, you can't stop, you can't quit. And I knew one thing, that see, I was not sure whether I'll make it big, I'll not make it big, and I wasn't even thinking, and I'm sure that nobody who has ever started their own company would think this way. But I just knew that whatever happens, I'm not going to quit. Okay, I'm going to keep on going in whatever dreams I have, and whatever this entire plan that I have of creating value, reaching out to millions of people, I would want to do that. Okay. And so the experience has been that of enormous learning on a daily basis. Like, I keep on learning. I interact with so many people on a day-to-day basis. Everybody is contributing to my learning. Okay. And there used to be a time that when I used to feel a little tired, that becomes a little tiring, speaking with so many people, interacting with so many people, responding to people. But today, I am so grateful, and I'd like to say this to anybody who's going to watch this, for every single person who's ever reached out to me, because you people have actually made me, and you people have made all of my companies into what they are today, because it was the exposure that we got through you. We understood the audience better through you. We understood your needs better through you, and every single second that has been invested on people, it's just coming back. And I think uh, the biggest part of my journey has been the people. So many people, and I see that right now finally growing on Blogging Elementary. And let me tell you, when we started Blogging Elementary, that time we were not very sure of creating a different segment of the platform only for the community that we call the community. But then I felt that there are so many people who are connected with us, and why not why not transfer every single interaction that I've had, with people in my DMs, in the inbox, on emails, on an open platform where everybody can have exactly the same conversations. And so I'm extremely grateful, and the journey has been that of learning, and I've had a lot of failures, okay, a few successes, but I'm just moving ahead every single day, for sure.
Yeah, that is awesome, because I think that failure are contributing to your success. They are
Absolutely,
necessary.
absolutely. And Nida, I am a very big advocate, of the theory where it is stated that you have to be able to fail in life to actually bounce back and be successful. Because if you're failing at things every day on a daily basis, because we tend to fail daily, because when you try new things, it will not be perfect the first time. It can never be perfect the first time. So you get up every single time with a new level of confidence. You improve yourself, you improve your skill set, and that's how the path actually starts becoming clear, and the mist just sort of leaves your way, and it's absolute clarity then all the way ahead. Yeah.
So, with respect to your experience, what advice would you like to give to all the young women entrepreneurs who are struggling so that they stay empowered?
Number one, before anything else, okay, and I'm not going to say this as a professional, but as a woman myself, please start believing in yourself. That is the first thing to do. Before any other skill set, before any other thing, before starting anything new, believe in yourself that you can do it. Because I'm telling you, Nita, women are way more powerful than they know. And I'm not saying because I'm a woman, they are, okay? It's just a matter of time you realize that. I mean, I don't know why women lack that thing every now, because I interact with so many women on a daily basis, and I feel very sad because those women are very talented. They are. So I feel that women should believe in themselves a lot more, feel confident on what confident about what you're doing. And the first and foremost thing to do is to convince yourself that you want to do it. Anything that you want to do, any dreams you want to pursue, anything that you want to do. Once you convince yourself, only then can you convince the world. That much I can tell you. And also, I've said this to, I think, every single person I've interacted with, and I want to say it one more time. Especially women, for men also, but especially women, the hardest battles are always fought at home. So you have to learn to win your battles at home. If you can win the battle at home, you will definitely conquer the world. Because when you move outside your home, and when you actually start dealing with people in the real world, it's not as difficult. The main difficulty actually lies at home, even though people think otherwise. Because that is the people, I mean, and also, if you're not able to convince the people you love the most, if you're not able to protect your dream there, how will you possibly make it in the world? So it's very important to believe in yourself, because when you believe in yourself, you can stand up to yourself, you can assert for yourself, and that's how you keep forging the path ahead, So it's my genuine request, my humble request to all the women out there, that if you want to build something, the first thing to build is to build confidence. Everything else is going to follow. Trust me, and it's going to be easy. It will not be as difficult. It's more difficult in your head. It's not as difficult in reality as you make it to be, because the fear just keeps on going stronger and stronger. Don't let that fear grow. It'll eat out. It'll just
The
eat you
first
up.
difficulty is to start, and once you start, then you start
Absolutely.
gaining the confidence.
I know that one moment, the one moment between sort of thinking to do something and actually starting is one, with lots of, when you start feeling sweaty and you feel, how do you tell people? How do you convince people? All of those thoughts happen. All of us have struggled with that also. But that's not the thing to consider. Just let go of fear. I mean, just follow, there's something known as the 5-second rule, where you give yourself just 5 seconds to either say yes or no. So say yes and do it. And you will force that moment and you just move ahead then.
Thank you so much for sharing that, and I hope that
You're welcome.
women will listen to this and do.
I hope so. Yeah, I hope so. Yeah.
Thank you. So Akriti, since you're a passionate blogger and you have mentored thousands of people across the globe, so do you think that a woman can solely rely on blogging as a source of their income?
Nada, first of all, the answer to that question in capital letters is yes. Okay, capital letters, the question is yes. And after interacting with so many people across the planet from different countries, different ethnicities, different needs, I myself have gained so much of exposure of the industry, because every blogger is different, their personality is different, their niche is different. The problem is not with whether blogging is going to be a full-time career for you, or will it generate a full-time income. The problem is that I just don't see it in a lot of people, to actually sort of take that leap of faith and go all in. So they either actually start blogging as a side hustle, like in Hindi we say ki dekh lenge types ki, let's do it, but they don't get really serious about it, and that's a problem, because if you want a full-time income from a blog, you have to give your full time. It's a very very basic rule, right? And the other thing is that for a lot of people, even now in 2020, despite so much of awareness, people feel that blogging is just about randomly writing things. Oh God, no. Blogging implies to create content that adds value to the internet based on your exact niche or your exact expertise about something, so that you are actually adding value to the things that are already existing on the internet. And so if you keep on writing the same things, and not just writing, actually blogging can be visual, it can be auditory, whatever form of blogging you're comfortable with, you have to be able to innovate. You have to make sure that what people are already doing, you're adding something to it, because if you do the same thing, why should people read you, right? Because it's already there. So you have to add something of your own. And I'm telling you this because I am from the industry. I mean, there is such an enormous amount of gap on the internet even now, in terms of so many aspects. We think that a lot of things are there, but they're not there. There is so much of scope for bloggers, new bloggers in different niches, to just jump right in and start something on their own. So anybody who is able to invest a good amount of time on a daily basis, creating a content strategy that will actually benefit the end user, you will definitely gain a full-time income from your blog. And I'd like to say this, that when you start pursuing professional blogging, right? And by professional blogging, I imply something that you're not just writing for venting your thoughts out, you're actually adding something professionally to people, right? That's when Google will actually start respecting you. That's when Google will start helping you gain visibility. And once you're in Google, you're there. Because if you're in Google, you're there for the entire world to see you, right? So it's very important to come on the top slots of Google, because it will not happen by social media alone, because people have their own weird theories. I know, because I talk to people on a daily basis, okay? So it's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of sweat. It's a lot of late nights. It's a lot of early mornings, and it's worth it. So the difference between pursuing blogging and that of let's say a 9 to 6 job, which is like sort of more secure in that sense of the term, is that in a regular job, you're working X hours, and the output is also X, the profit is also X, okay, or whatever your gaining the salary is X, but when it comes to blogging, you have to give 10x of your effort, and then the return is 10x. It's a very, very simple rule. So it'll not happen in a day, it'll not happen in a month, 6 months, 1 year, 1.5 years, yes. And you have to be consistent. Consistency is key. Any blogger who is made it big in whatever field, whether it's a technology blog, whether it's a food blog, whether it's a health blog, whatever it is, they have worked very hard on it. And once they reach there, then it's a one-time investment in terms of investment, not in just terms of money, but investment in terms of your time, okay, in terms of the resources that you put in, and it starts to give you returns for the rest of your life. So why not? I mean, and it is such a fantastic opportunity for women, because not every woman can go outside the house because they have 10,000 more responsibilities than a man does, right? uh, I mean, there are women I know, Nita, who they didn't really have a separate set of skill set because they didn't really have the opportunities, right? And they were mothers. They started parenting blogs. So the opportunity is right there. You just have to know what do you want to find, and where do you want to get in. That's how it works. So also, I don't feel that a lot of people, they don't do a lot of research before starting blogging. They either start to blog because somebody else is blogging. Okay, so it's like more of a trend thing that somebody is blogging, so I should know. That's not the way. You do it if you want to do it. Don't do it because other people are doing it. But yes, there it is. You can absolutely gain a full-time income out of it. So many people who are mentored under us are now full-time. They're earning. In fact, I won't even call their blogs as blogs anymore. It's a full-time internet business. Yeah. So, but yeah, you have to give in time, because see, that time is passing anyways. The time will go. 1 year will, you'll spend 1 year, you'll spend a month. Why not just work on your blog? Yeah? Just work on it daily. So that's how much it takes. Yeah.
And I have also listened that blogging should be part-time. It's a part-time. People don't consider it, serious, as a serious thing. But that was great that you told us. Akriti, would you like to tell the different ways to diversify one's income basket? You have mentioned one is blogging. So what could be the other ways?
Okay, so if there's been one time in history where people have an access to endless opportunities online, it is now. I mean, the things that we're able to do now in 2020 and with every passing year were not at all possible 10 years ago, 20 years ago, okay? So all you need to understand is what is the level of skill set that you have, and how far are you going to improvise on it and brush it up, and what is the kind of platform that you need, okay? Now, a lot of people feel that they're unable to sort of grab more opportunities online because of lack of resources or money. You don't need to have money or resources. You need to have one smartphone. You need to have an internet connection on it. Start from there, right? And like, if you're somebody who's comfortable with visuals, who wants to create the kind of content for people, visually, go for YouTube. I mean, for instance, like if I compare a blog and a YouTube, in case of a blog, you still have to invest money because you have to buy, the domain, you have to buy the hosting, all of that. But YouTube, you just have to sign up. You already have a Gmail account to sign up on YouTube and you're good to go, okay? Likewise, if somebody has, let's say, a lot of jewelry pieces at home, they want to sell it off, become a reseller on Amazon, okay? If you're the kind of person who is good with poetry recitals, you can use YouTube, or you can even go for a podcast, because poetry recitals are becoming huge on podcasts now, right? And to do any of these things and a million other things, all you need is a smartphone with a working internet connection. You don't even need a laptop, okay? And so recently I've been included, in a very important accelerator program which has been started by Google and Tata Trust, okay? And the entire program centers around rural women in India, okay? So any woman in India, rural India actually, who has a basic level of skill set, like let's say something is small as stitching or cooking, or like something that you do on a daily basis, but even there's an opportunity to completely transform the person's life and actually increase the household income. And our job as accelerators on the program is to actually mentor these women for the next 6 months. Now the program is It started in December and it will continue till May, June 2021. Okay. And these women have so many dreams, and none of these women have laptops, or even they can't even afford laptops, but everybody has a smartphone. And the entire project is being conducted. We are training them on smartphones. We make videos on smartphones, or whatever way we have to reach out to them. Okay. And these women also submit the assignments there, and they're learning. So if somebody who belongs to the remotest parts of the country is able to double their income and to learn, I mean, everybody else, I think it's a lot easier for us, right? Because we have been fortunate enough to be educated, we have our skills, and it's just about constantly staying in the game, actually, and it's a fantastic time for accessing opportunities online. Okay. You should just know what to do. And now we use the term homepreneurs, like entrepreneurs from home, because you don't really need to step out in the real world anymore. Everything is virtual. It cannot get easier than this, Nida. Like, I know a lot of people keep complaining that we don't have time and it's not easy. No, it is. Trust me, it is. Because 20 years down before, there have been 20 years back, 30 years back, 100 years back, there were no opportunities for women. Women had to actually go out and do all the work. Now, you need to have a smartphone, you need to have an internet connection, you just have to go online, read things. Okay, read and research, analyze, because I don't see that happening a lot. I see people using their phones a lot. I see people using Instagram, Facebook a lot. I don't see people reading a lot. That's my observation, and I would really urge, by means of your channel, for anybody who's going to watch this, that please start reading and researching, because every single person on the planet, when it comes to the internet, we have exactly the same resources. So why is it that some people are actually way ahead and some are not? When it comes to the information, so when the information is out there, please access the information. The information is few. There are so many self-help groups online. There are so many organizations online that have so many opportunities for people. Recently on Blogging Elementary, I myself shared an opportunity, and that was an opportunity for artists and for poets both. Okay, so we actually tied up with a lot of greeting card companies worldwide. Okay, because in India, we are not very sort of interested in greeting cards, but across the world, when it comes to the Christmas season, and they are into greeting cards, and it's a very big market. Okay, so our job was basically to provide that opportunity to people who could actually sort of add poetry in those greeting cards, and if at all people were artists, their prints were to be sent to these companies, and these were the companies who were based out of Australia and United States and Canada, very good companies. And for every print that you were sending, if you were selected, or for every piece of poetry that was selected, these people earned as much as $200-300. So look at and here, I mean, and by here I mean back home, we don't really give a lot of value to these things, right? Even now, like, we feel, no, like art is like, it's like a side thing, and poetry, like, no, it is huge. In fact, Nida, do you know, and because I have to share this with you, because I see so many women writing poetry online, and I think that this can be, a good platform to sort of share it with them, that as of now, one of the world's best selling books is not fiction. It is a book on poetry, which has been written by a Indo-Canadian poetess. Okay, her name is Rupi Kaur, and the book is Milk and Honey. The entire book comprises of different pieces of poetry. Okay, and that book has actually, it has become so successful now that it has sold more copies than even a book like Homer's Odyssey. And she started writing poetry on Instagram. Okay, so this is what I'm trying to say, that if you want to do something, you can do that thing. The opportunities are right there. You will just have to invest some time digging those opportunities, because that you should, right? But for anybody, whether you're a parent, whether you're a homemaker, whether you're a working woman, whether you're a single woman, whether you're an elderly woman, any bracket, the opportunities are there. You just have to decide what is it that interests you, because your interest counts, and then what is the opportunity at hand, and then what are the resources at hand which are for you, and then you start small, and then gradually you keep getting bigger and bigger.
That was great.
Yeah.
And I realized that nothing is smaller. Even a poetry can help you earn
Absolutely.
A great amount of money.
Absolutely. And Nida, actually, I'd like to just add something here, that a lot of people don't think from the perspective of the world. They think very locally, in the sense like let's say for instance, there might be 5 people, okay, and those 5 people might not be interested in poetry, And let's say an aspiring content creator gets in touch with these five people. So the view of these five people is not the view of the world. Okay? So just because people around you or in your families are not interested in a certain thing that you might be interested in, does not mean that there is not that an opportunity as such doesn't exist, right? And that is why you should go on the internet, do your research. Trust me, it's gonna be refreshing. There's lots and lots of things out there. People just limit themselves to things that they see around themselves, right? But when we live in the digital age, digital age when everything's virtual and everything is available online, why not just go and access those resources? Yeah, I mean that's for everyone there, right? So we should do it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that corona pandemic has forced many people to start something new,
Yes.
and many of them
True.
are doing.
True. In fact, remote working's become the norm. We actually, both at Budgetary Ferris and Blogging Elementary, anyways, I have been a big advocate of remote working from a very long time. Okay, so I'm really happy in terms of not for the virus. I'm very sad for the pandemic, but I'm happy with the way the world is sort of transforming, and more people are coming online because it's creating an equal world. Because there used to be a time when it was mandatory for people to leave their homes, go to bigger cities, work with bigger organizations, and only then could you just think of succeeding. But not anymore. You have a talent, you have a skill, you're willing to work hard, you're willing to work smart. Awesome. You just need a screen.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
Since I said that people are being forced to, do something online because of this corona pandemic, there are many content creators who are struggling. They are not able to target their niche audience. So, what would be that advice to them so that they could create a valuable content and the ways to publish them so that they could target their niche audience?
This actually, Nida, is a very important question, okay? And to your question, I'm going to add another question actually, not for you, but for a lot of people who are going to see this, that what exactly do you consider as valuable content? Do you consider valuable content the kind of content that you are creating and you've put a lot of hard work, so you think it's valuable? Or do you think valuable content is a piece of content which you have created, and yes, you've put your work, you've hard worked on it, and it's connecting with the audience? The audience is loving it. To be able to call a piece of content as valuable content, it's very important that the audience actually loves it, and the audience will love it when you will give them something which is based on their need. This is very important. And the reason why I posed that counter question was because a lot of content creators and good content creators, okay, talented content creators, don't even know what their audience is. They are not able to make a connect with the audience because they don't even think it's important. For them, it's all about working hard in one small segment and this rolling out content. That's not how it works. You have to understand the needs of your people. That is why you will be able to create content that people can consume. So it's very important. And for anybody who's genuinely creating valuable content, first and foremost, Nida, is to select your platforms wisely. It's very important. I can tell you one thing. If, let's say, you're creating, maybe it's a visual or a video or a podcast, any kind of content, okay, that doesn't really matter. The same piece of content will be consumed very different by different audiences on different platforms. The same piece of content, right? Which means that there will be a gap somewhere, right? And that is why you're not supposed to sit on 10 different platforms and keep rolling out. Choose your platforms wisely, even if you have 2 platforms, okay? Write on them because that is where your audience is, right? So this is very important. Visibility is key for a content creator. If there's no visibility, how will the content creator stand out, especially in the world like you pointed out, that post-COVID everybody's forcefully now, forcefully people have to come online and be a part of the digital world. And so something known as content fatigue is also catching on, with lots of content being rolled out on a daily basis from different parts of the world. We're also entering into an era where we are facing content fatigue, which means that now more than ever, content which will be different, content which will be innovative, content which will be original will stand out. Credibility is everything, Nida. And by the way, when you asked me that first question, the second question, I think when you asked me about my journey, right, I'd like to say something here, that one thing that was very important on my journey, and I would like for everybody to sort of pick up on that, is that you have to create something which is innovative enough. That's how it'll add value to people. For me, it was giving information which is credible, because I know for a fact that one thing which is gold in today's world is quality information, credible information. I mean, you must have experienced this yourself many a time when you go to Google or on any search engine for that matter. You look for something and you don't really find that exact thing, even though you keep on scrolling for so many searches, right? Which means that there is a gap there, and that is why content creators should swoop in and fill in that gap, whatever your niche is, right? So this is extremely important. If you want to create valuable content, first of all, you should be creating valuable content which the audience loves. Okay, it cannot just be about you, it has to be about the audience all the time. Okay, so whatever is it that you're interested in, and whatever is that the audience likes, there has to be sync between those two somewhere. So it's somewhere in the middle actually that you should be doing. And once you start creating valuable content, after that, to stay visible, the first thing to do is, of course, understand the platform that we discussed. And when I say understand the platform, you should know what are the algorithms that work behind these platforms. Like, what kind of content gets viewership on what kind of platform, because it's different, it's not the same, right? The policies of Facebook are very different from that of Quora. The policies of Quora are very different from that of Medium. Okay, so it's different for different platforms. And we've come to a time when people have got to start moving beyond Instagram and Facebook. Yeah, I mean, I see the switch from Facebook is obviously started happening. There have been so many people, including myself. I don't really find Facebook is valuable for me personally, as I used to find it maybe 7 years ago. I used to find Instagram valuable. Now I don't even find Instagram valuable. Okay, so I mean, it keeps on changing. Okay, I find Medium valuable. I've always found Medium valuable. I find Quora valuable. I find Reddit valuable. So there are so many platforms. You have to know what to create where. Actually, that's very, very important. The visible, you will get visibility when your audience loves you, and once your audience loves you, the same audience is going to follow you anywhere. So you don't. So I see a lot of people like spending a lot of time on a set social media platform. Thinking that if they keep on posting on that social media platform, the audience is going to come on their blog, on their YouTube channel. But that's not the way. It's the opposite. You will first get visibility on your YouTube channel, on your blog, on your website, or whatever you're doing, and finally the same audience is going to follow you everywhere else. So that's important. Nida, and you of course are doing a commendable job. I know that you're also hustling, and you're a very passionate YouTuber. And so I would like more and more people to take your lead, and because you know exactly what you're doing. Because see, what you're trying to do this year on YouTube, like this is an example, the same thing would have not really worked on a blog, right? Because this needs to be more visual. So so you have to understand the need of the audience, and that's important. It's key actually.
Mm-hmm. I understand, and I totally agree with you on this point.
Okay. Yeah.
Just before winding up, I would just want to ask you a very popular question. Like you told that we have to maintain consistency. So,
yes.
what could be the ways to maintain the consistency while remaining motivated throughout? Because sometimes it happens with me also. Like if I've started something, I, lose the motivation, and that's where the consistency breaks. So what could be those ways where both of the two things could be maintained?
Nida, this is a $1 billion question. It's not even $1 million, it's a $1 billion question. And I am going to answer this question in one word, and then I'll elaborate on it, okay? And that one word is passion. If you're truly passionate about something that you want to pursue, the same passion will make sure that you stay consistent. The passion will help you wake up early. The passion will help you sit late nights. The passion will make sure that you hustle. The passion will help you break every single mental barrier. It'll keep you awake, and that is why your journey should be like an adventure, because you start enjoying the struggles as well, because every struggle is sort of contributing to your growth, okay? And that is why when you start something, it's important to be passionate about it, and you cannot start something for the heck of starting it. You cannot start something just because it's in trend. You cannot start something just because of want of money. Though money is a very important aspect, I agree, but if you do it just for the money part, or if you do it just because it's in trend, you will not be able to maintain the consistency. I can tell you that much, because the journey is really long, okay? And in order for you to be consistent and motivated, it has to come from within. That, and I mean, just today, I'll tell you, I was on Shiro's today earlier on, okay? I had a AMA session there, And then in between I had two other events, and now I was on your channel, and all of those things, all of these four things are very important, and I didn't have a lot of sort of time in between, so I was hustling only. Okay, but even then I try my level best to show up at every single place where I'm supposed to be, because that is my commitment to my own self. Forget about anybody else, Nita. And for me at least, that passion doesn't let me sleep also, like it just keeps me alive, and it truly keeps me alive. And if at all, we see all of us have our rough days, okay, and we will have our rough days, that's okay, but we shouldn't be very hard on ourselves. We tend to be very hard on ourselves that today was not a very good day. It's okay, the next day will be a good day, and if ever for whatever reason you're feeling a little demotivated, if you're feeling that the consistency is not up to the mark, just start at that time. Don't wait, don't let the negativity sort of embrace you. Don't allow that, because once you get into that mood, you don't want to do it then. You just, because so negativity is a toxic thing, it's like it's very very toxic. And for me individually, like personally, with the kind of work that I do and the kind of art that we have to put in, I maintain my distance from negative situations and negative people. I have filters in place. I work very hard to put those filters in place now, but anytime when anybody feels that yes, there's a lack of motivation, there's a problem with consistency, which means that you are not fully focused at that task. You focus somewhere else, right? Like you are distracted, or you're occupied by work, but there are other factors which are contributing to it. To prioritize. Like, I can tell you one tip, if I were to give you, in this regard, in addition to passion, okay, and that would be that you should be good at managing time, and you should be dedicating fixed time slots for tasks. So let's say if somebody is a content creator, somebody wants to write a blog or wants to maintain the YouTube channel, so which means that they have to roll out videos, editing, all of that. Make sure that you have select days in a week at exactly the same time. That way you will not break consistency. It should be as important as brushing your teeth. Like you can't start a day without brushing your teeth, right? You have to, it's a part of your routine. So whatever you want to pursue should be a part of your routine, and a very integral part of your routine. So that way, so you should be able to train your mind over a period of time that 2 to 3 o'clock is Nida's time for videos and editing, like that kind of thing. It's very important, because otherwise, see, we will always be burdened with work. There will be something going on, there will be social obligations, something or the other will happen. It'll always happen, so you will never sort of get free time. And by the way, a lot of people think that we'll go to the next level, we'll have more money, we'll have free time. Oh no, no, you will not have free time. You will have 10,000 more responsibilities, and that is why it's important to manage time. You will have free time if you're disciplined enough. Because see, if you start your day early, for instance, you start your day at 5, 6 a.m. in the morning and then wrap it up by 8, 9. Yes, you have free time for family, for other things that you want to pursue, right? So dedicating a fixed time slot for fixed tasks is very important. I think this is one of the major factors that contributes to people staying consistent over a period of time. That they know that this is a fixed time, the mind gets trained that way, and then you're there. And when you constantly do things, then you stay motivated, right? Because you will keep on getting better, you will keep seeing results. And especially in the world of content and the digital world, the biggest motivation is when readers start responding or viewers start responding to what you're doing. It cannot get better, because like if you have a hectic day and one small comment from a reader somewhere in the world that we really love your work, you'll be fresh, and you will be motivated to work even harder. But that first comment is going to come on your blog or YouTube or whatever you're doing, or the feedback from a customer is going to come only when you're sitting on a day and day out. That much I can tell you. It will not happen if people are saying that, oh, we'll do it once a month. No. And if at all this is also not enough, think of it as this way: if you're not working hard, your competitors are in the world, and you're giving it to them just because you're lazy to work hard. So if at all you feel sleepy sometimes, if you feel that the mood is getting busy, just sit for 15 minutes extra. I have suggested this to a lot of people, who are taking mentorship from us also. I tell them that when you feel a little low, when you feel demotivated, when you feel that you're getting you're having lack of ideas, all of that, just give it 15 minutes. 15 minutes. It's gonna make a difference, because you will not give up then. Those 15 minutes will keep on adding, and you'll see the growth curve increasing with that. So you try that too, okay, and then you write to me and tell me whether that worked for you or not, okay?
Definitely,
Yeah.
I will. Thank
Yes,
you so
please
much,
do.
Akriti, for sharing your
You're very
experience.
welcome.
That was a
You're
really,
very welcome.
and I have that much of questions for today, and I would love to have more such episodes with you in future. And
Me too, yeah, Nida. In fact, don't take this as like I'm not sort of buttering you up at all, but I genuinely want you to be with us, not just on the platform, but in different sort of events, because I would want you to share your story as well, so I'll be very happy to take your interview sometime when you're free, because I'll tell you one thing, Nida. See, I am, and full confession, I am not a very big fan of sort of interviews or like promotions to myself, because I feel it takes away my productive time. But when people like you reach out, who are inspirational, who are aspirational, who belong to the young entrepreneurs, as you call yourself, right? Like you didn't call yourself, but I am calling you one, because you have started something and it will turn into something big in the future if you stick to it, right? So I don't ever turn down spending time, having quality conversations with people like you, because you guys are inspirational, and you will tomorrow you will be inspiring millions of people, and I'll be very very happy to be a small part of your journey. So I was here, and this has been an evening well spent.
yeah,
Okay. Otherwise, I'm very choosy that I don't. You will not show me. You will not sort of see me a lot. On channels or so, because I just feel that like, why do I have to speak? Like that's my way of thinking. I feel that okay, my job is to work. My job is to create value in other ways, and I'm doing that. And in fact, one reason, in fact, the only reason that for Blogging Elementary also we started a YouTube channel was because we were receiving so many requests, Nida, that Akriti, why don't you create content there for people? Why don't you make it accessible? And that's when I felt that, uh, I should listen to people. And that's when we started our own channel also. And now I have plans for that also. But thank you so much for having me here today. Thank you for the time. Okay. I feel so refreshed. I can work 6 hours more now before I wrap up my day. And it was an evening such amazingly spent, Nida. So thank you so
same
much.
here, Akriti, and it was really wonderful listening to your experiences. And I too myself have learned a lot from this episode. Uh, so if
Thank you
anyone
so
would
much.
like, if anyone have any questions regarding this episode or on Hey Women, then you can mention it in the comment section, or you can reach out to Akriti. We have
Sure.
mentioned all her social accounts in the links, and we have mentioned
Sure.
the link for Blogging Elementary also. And I would suggest all the content creators to go and visit Blogging Elementary once, and you'll definitely find it useful, because I too myself have found
How
it.
nice, Nida.
And
How nice, Nida. How nice of you, yeah. How nice of you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
thank you so much. So till then, stay safe and stay home.